Hello and welcome to the Mandalorian. We're on Chapter 4, and the title of this episode was called Sanctuary. I'm joined by Jim Watari. How's it going, Jim?
Going pretty good.
You enjoying this show?
Yeah, very much, very much.
Are you a big Star Wars fan, big Star Wars geek?
Yeah, I guess. Maybe not as much as some people. I know a lot of other people are into the books and all the other video, the animated stuff and stuff like that, but I'm not really into all of that stuff. I hear about it, of course, from watching different listening to different podcasts and stuff like that. So you get the blanks sort of filled in by everybody else. So I'm sort of like you, just sort of.
Yeah, I'm not full on geek, but I love the Star Wars story. But like I said, I'm not into the Clone War cartoons and. Mm-hmm. And I guess maybe I should, because everyone keeps saying how good they are. So maybe I will, after the Mandalorian, I'll get into that. But I thought this was another good episode.
Yeah. At first I thought, but then after I watched it a second time and I said, and this is pretty much the Magnificent Seven -5 or 4 3,
right?
Like that. Pretty much, when and that Jon Favreau is really into all the samurai movie and Western stuff, and so this is it, pretty much just right out of the book. Hey, can you help us? Blah blah blah.
It was definitely a Western. Yeah, Magnificent Seven was or like Magnificent 2, I guess we should say.
Yeah.
But it's definitely got a Western theme going on every episode. I think that's why I love it so much, because I'm a huge fan of Westerns. So. Mm-hmm. Anyway, we start out with a little different. There's villagers, and they're catching. I just called them bluefish. I didn't know what to call them.
Yeah, and I guess I don't know what they're using for, but maybe those other guys who stole them are making whiskey or moonshine or something like that. They got some still or something like that.
Yeah, I get it. I couldn't figure it out, but I just said bluefish, 1 fish, 2 fish, bluefish, red fish, all that stuff. And they hear a loud noise, and so they start to run. And they're attacked by these raiders, mm-hmm. And the villagers are just obviously outgunned. Then we go back to the Mandalorian. He's flying around, and I love that he tells Baby Yoda. Yeah, that's what I still call him Baby Yoda.
What else you gonna call him?
Yeah. They call him the child on the thing, but he says, "Stop touching things." so it is like a parent telling a young child, "Hey, stop touching that! Stop touching that! Stop touching that!"
And then that one little scene where you see Baby Yoda looking at him and then reaching back, like that was so funny. Like, okay, how far can I push this?
It's like when I have my grandkids. I watch them now, and they'll all sit there and it's almost like they push you just as far as they can, and then you look at them and say no. And they go, I wasn't going to touch that. But they have a great chemistry between the two of them.
Yeah.
So I'm enjoying that. So then he says, he looks up and he says, it's Sargon, right? The planet Sargon?
Sargon, something like that, yeah.
Sargon. And he names all this different stuff. And like you said, before we started recording.
Backwater mud hole, and that's the line that Luke used in Empire Strikes Back, and Yoda gets all upset. Mud hole,
Yeah.
He's calling his home a mud hole.
Well, there's another throwback to callback to the Star Wars movies, so they're keeping that in touch. I like that. Then they land, and he goes, "Okay, I'm gonna go look around. You stay here. Don't touch anything. Don't move." Again, it's just like a parent telling a child, "Don't do that." And of course, Baby Yoda goes,
he starts following him.
He goes, "All right, fine, come along." They stop at a restaurant, and they're going to have some bone broth. Yeah, that sounds delicious.
Yeah.
Some bone broth for the little one. What for you? Nothing. I don't want anything. And he notices a woman, and he asks the waitress or whoever it is, how long she been here? He goes, "Oh, she's been here for a while." Looks up, and the woman is gone. Yeah. And he asks the waitress to watch Baby Yoda. He goes looking for the woman, and a pretty good fight scene takes place.
Yeah. I guess she was scared that he was looking, that he was looking for her, because she knows he's a Mandalorian, and she must have a bounty on her. They never really get back to that, but she must have some sort of bounty on her or something.
I'm assuming from the fight scene and the way she acted, yeah, she had to have a bounty on her.
Yeah.
But another funny scene, because they're going back and forth and they both put the guns at each other at the same time.
Yeah.
And there's Baby Yoda sipping his soup.
And then he says, "Hey, you want some soup?"
I mean, it just cracks me up the way they use Baby Yoda in these scenes. He's supposed to stay there, but he always follows the Mandalorian. Well, then Kara. We find out her name is Kara. She tells the Mandalorian, she goes, "I was here first. You have to move on.
Yeah.
Town ain't big enough for both of us."
Yeah.
He goes, "Okay, all right, I'll move on." And so then he's on his ship. He's working on his ship, and then the villagers try to hire him.
Yeah, they show up.
Yeah, and they're like going, "We give you all the stuff we have," and he's like, "It's not enough. Not enough. I don't want to do it." And then the Mandalorian he hires Kara to help him defeat the Raiders.
Yeah.
So it's typical, just like Magnificent Seven.
Yeah.
Except they didn't go wasn't riding from town to town picking up different people with different skill sets. If you haven't seen the Magnificent Seven, it's a great movie. You should probably watch it.
Oh yeah, I've seen it, but it's been such a long time. Now I'm going to have to go back and watch it. And of course, there's been so many remakes and.
Yeah. Well, there was even a TV show for a while. He had a couple seasons of the TV show, which was all right. Not the greatest. The Mandalorian meets Amira, that's what I'm calling her, and her daughter.
Amira, her daughter Winta or something like that. I think that's what
I think it was Winta, yeah. And then they meet. Amira asks the Mandalorian how long it's been since he's taken off his helmet, and so this becomes. I think it's something we've all been asking, right?
Yeah. You never really quite know what the real rules are, because other people talk about other Mandalorians taking off their helmet all the time, but then that's a different time period, so you don't know what it really means, and maybe because he's a foundling, and then when you see those other foundlings in that sanctuary that they were in before, they all the little kids had their little helmets on, and didn't see them without their helmets on either, so. I guess maybe it's for foundlings, or I don't know. I guess, or it's just this particular group of Mandalorians. I don't know.
What he said, he said he's been wearing it since he was, in front of people since he was a kid, since a child.
Yeah.
And he hasn't taken because we find out I think we knew he was raised by the Mandalorians. Mm-hmm. His parents were killed. They saved him, and so he has never taken it off in front of anyone since he was a kid.
Yeah, and he referred to them as Mandalorians, so I guess he sort of doesn't think he's now a Mandalorian, but he wasn't, so he's obviously, and who knows, maybe we find out later on that all these guys are all different races, or all different, aliens or something like that. This keeps them all the same, like a uniform or something like that. I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, I thought it was a great scene, and like I said, at least we're getting answers about it, and maybe he thinks he's just the reason he has to honor their tradition, or the tradition because they saved him and raised him, I guess.
Yeah.
So he's going to honor that tradition. And then the daughter starts playing with Baby Yoda.
Oh yeah, all the kids were.
Yeah, just in time for Christmas. Because kids are watching the show going, "I want a Baby Yoda. I want a Baby Yoda."
Those other kids get Baby Yoda, they get they get the real one.
Yeah, right. I think even adults, I think would want Baby Yoda.
Oh yeah, I've seen so many different people going, "Oh, I gotta have that, gotta have that."
They're gonna make a lot of money off Baby Yoda.
Yeah.
Can we just say that right now? Kara and Mando are inspecting the woods, and they realize, hey, this was an Imperial Walker did this damage.
Yeah, an ATST, I guess, or I think that's what they said.
So now they're thinking, hey, we can't beat that.
Yeah, there's no way. They're pretty much going worst case scenario. And just like I forgot if the plot of the Magnificent Seven or the Seven Samurai is the same way, where the villagers say, "Oh, we can fight." I'm not sure about that, but
I think I know the Magnificent Seven. I think they did say they could fight. I think so, because it's like I said, it's pretty similar to the Magnificent. I do like how the Mando tells him, "You're going to have to leave. You can't stay here anymore." And then Kara goes, "You have a great bedside manner."
Yeah, blurts that out. Yeah,
because he's thinking, there's no way. And then the villagers, they're not leaving. Amira says we can fight, and they're like looking at. And then I think they asked, "How many of you ever fired a weapon?" And Amira was the only one that.
Yeah, you get the sort of vibe from her that she's been some sort of maybe a fighter or something before, because when you watch the very beginning of the episode, everybody's running away, and of course she's running forward to get, to get to her daughter and everything like that. But she doesn't really hesitate, And when we have all the fight scenes, she's the one, yelling at everybody else, keep going and stuff like that. So,
Do you think we'll see her again?
It's kind of hard to say. Yeah. And
it's like you said, it'd be nice because she was, she's the only one to fire a weapon. She ran towards, obviously you're going to save your child.
Yeah.
But then she knew how to protect herself, and
And then they showed her, practicing with everybody else, and she's just shooting at rapid fire, hitting the thing. Everybody else is missing and stuff like that. So,
right.
She's got some sort of backstory, but who knows if they'll ever get to it. But,
and there did seem like there was a connection between her and the Mandalorian.
Yeah.
But I guess we'll find out later on. They build traps. They dig a hole. They all these different things. And the villagers are learning how to fight. They're learning. I don't know what the sticks. I don't know. You don't bring a stick to a fire fight. Yeah. But I guess you got to do with that what you have, right?
Yeah. I like the fact that one of the guys had his stick backward. She had to tell him, "Hey, pointy end this way." Stick him with the pointy end. Like
yeah, I was like going, yeah. There's always that one that doesn't know how to fight. Let's see. Mando and Kara, they go to the camp of the Raiders, and they're doing some damage. But then the Imperial Raider.
Yeah,
I think this is probably was their plan. They tried to lure the Raider there. So the Raider chases after him. He's coming down. The villagers are waiting for the surprise attack, and the walker gets right to the edge of the
and of course stops. Yeah,
stops, and they're like, "What does he stop?" Now, at this point, did you think that they knew it was there?
Well, it's like they saw that it was water, but they didn't know how deep it was, so it's just going to sit there,
right,
until it got provoked, to come a little bit further forward. So the guy wasn't stupid.
Yeah. Well, the Imperial Walker, it's going, and it keeps looking, and it starts firing, and there's pretty good battle going on. I thought.
Yeah.
Can't tell how many villagers were killed or
yeah,
not.
Since it's a show and they know the kids are watching it, they've been able to get around stuff by using laser blasts and disintegration. You don't see limbs flying off, and you don't see blood and stuff like that. So they pretty much got a PG-13, I guess.
Well, it's not Saving Private Ryan.
Yeah. Yeah.
When they stormed the beach of Normandy. But I thought it was a pretty good scene, pretty good fight scene. Again, like you said, yeah. Amira seemed to have been in battle before.
Yeah, because she's egging everybody on. She's not, flinching like everybody else is, you see those guys, their first inclination, hey, step back right away. But,
Well, we know she's a widower.
Yeah. So you have no idea, how her husband died.
Yeah. And how did she come to live there? And I need to know. I want to know more.
Yeah.
I mean, why have a character like that without giving her backstory?
And I noticed that she was on Westworld. She played this character. What was it? Kohana. I don't know if that was one of the major ones, but she was like in 2 episodes of Westworld.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So maybe she was playing one of the, Native Americans or something like that. Or I'm not sure what character she was playing, but she was in 2 different episodes. So.
I'll have to look that up because that's I didn't know that. Let's see. Then they just the Imperial Walker finally takes the bait. Kara's pushing it. Finally takes bait. It falls over. It gets destroyed, and the Raiders take off.
Yeah,
they're not as cocky without their Imperial Walker backing him up. They back off. So I think we all knew that was going to happen.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I mean, there's nothing surprising about this show. I mean, it doesn't really. What am I trying to say?
He's kind of, like she's trying to, she's obviously trying to convince him to stay, and obviously Kara did that too. She's going, okay, here's this girl, she's into you. You're obviously, into her and all that other kind of stuff. But he's just not gonna, go away from his path, pretty much.
Well, also he knows that he's wanted.
Yeah.
Right. So he doesn't want to bring. So his plan is to leave Baby Yoda there.
Yeah. Originally, yeah, and then
of
course
he's happy, and then all this different stuff, and then as Kara asks him about his helmet, and he says, "I just don't. I don't take it off."
Yeah.
It tells the whole story. He tells Kara he's going to leave Baby Yoda behind. Mando talks with Amira, and she reaches off to take off his helmet.
Yeah.
And then, but in the meantime, there's a guy.
Yeah, zeroing in on Yoda.
And Baby Yoda. So we're like, what's going on here? And then, boom, there's a shot. We hear a shot fired. And I knew it wasn't going to be Baby Yoda. For a second, I was like, no. But Kara shoots the bounty hunter that was trying to kill Baby Yoda. And Amira says, so that now he knows he has to take, it's Yoda that they're after.
Yeah.
So he has to take Baby Yoda with him.
Yeah, can't leave him.
Now, for a second, did you think that Baby Yoda was going to be, that he was going to leave Baby Yoda behind and move on?
I don't know. It's when they first mentioned it, I said, oh yeah, here's an opportunity for him to leave him off, and that could happen, until that whole scene came up, and then you sort of get slapped into reality. No, that ain't gonna happen,
Right.
So, he's gonna have to leave.
I was thinking, okay, maybe he leaves and then he comes back, because then we would find out more about Amira.
Yeah.
But the whole thing changed. But there's such good chemistry between the Mandalorian and Baby Yoda. I kind of want to see them together still.
Yeah, well,
that makes sense.
Yeah, and they're doing a whole, and they're even filming the second season right now. So we have no idea, where this is going, which is great,
Right? Yeah. But then Amira says goodbye. He's loading up his supplies. And he takes off with Baby Yoda, and there you have it.
Yeah, and actually, this is the longest episode they've had so far. Maybe not by much, by a couple of minutes, maybe.
Yeah, it was. It was over 40 minutes, wasn't it?
Yeah, or at least that's what the total running time. Of course, you take out all the previews and all that other kind of stuff. It's back to
right.
Maybe 35 minutes or 32 minutes. But it's a good format, I think. I mean.
Are you happy with the length of the episodes?
I think so. I think all the complaining about that is just people looking for something to complain about, pretty much.
Yeah, because I think I said last. I wouldn't want them any longer.
Yeah.
Unless there was something substance to it. Don't make it longer just for the sake of making it longer.
Well, yeah, you don't want filler episodes that just sort of because here it's obviously giving you more information about the way he is, how he was really that close to, saying, oh, I'm going to stay here, what am I doing? Type of stuff. But I don't know what happens. Yeah.
You think if he wasn't wanted and he didn't have Baby Yoda to protect, he would have stayed?
He might have, yeah. I think that was a strong possibility. Yeah. But I think that was the whole thing sort of hanging over his head,
Well, maybe Amira and her daughter could come with him on a trip, right?
Yeah, but they're not gonna. Yeah, he's not gonna do that either. At least not.
No, I know.
Situation is resolved. He's not gonna put more people in danger. So, yeah.
So, what do you think's gonna? What is your any theories on what's gonna happen next? Is he just going to keep going from planet to planet until he can?
Looks like it, because if you look at IMDb, they got a couple of short synopses put up, and they say he does. I didn't really look too hard at them or write them down or anything like that, but there's going to be, because we haven't seen, what is that lady from Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., Ming Na Wen or whatever her name is.
Yeah,
she plays an assassin type character. So I guess every episode we get somebody new
that's going after him, huh?
It's either going after him or that he's knows or something like that. But she's probably going after him, I would assume. And whether we see that other bounty droid, the one that played, the one that got shot in the first episode, do we see him again or anything?
I think we see. I think I said before. I think we'll see him, even though I think it was someone said no, it's gone. It's but he'd be rebuilt. So
sure, yeah, just like C-3PO, right? You can't
right.
He's been blown up and everything else. I don't know how many different times. So
yeah, I definitely think we'll see him again, and that would be maybe to be the final episode of season 1, leave us with a cliffhanger or something like that. But again, I'm enjoying the season. It's 4 episodes in. It's one of those things that almost kind of wish they would stream it so you could just keep watching them all. But then again, it gives you something to look forward to once a week.
You can't. It's pretty hard to have podcasts about it, have everybody talk about it because it'll be all over, right? Who's going to want to do that after the whole season's done? I mean, sure.
Yeah, it's some Stranger Things and stuff like that.
Yeah, but this gets everybody talking. So it's it's kind of one of those shows you want to have stretched out so you can think about it a little bit more.
Well, it's one of those. It's if you're podcasting about it, or if you're, whatever you're doing, you want it each week. But if you're just watching it, give it all at once. But it's like Lost. I mean, Lost is one of those shows I don't think would work as a streaming show because you needed it that week to absorb. And I mean, I really love this show, but there's not a lot of oh my god, what's going on? There's not a lot of theorizing going on with the Mandalorian. Except maybe, a few things, but
people are just they have no idea what's going on. The secret. They kept all that kind of stuff under wraps, so you don't know where it's going, and that's what makes the show. You don't want to watch it, and I'm sure that's what Disney likes too, right? They want to have you subscribe to their service, right? And I really haven't watched that much else, even though there's a lot of things you can watch. You can watch all the Marvel stuff. You can watch all the old Disney movies that we used to watch as kids and stuff like that. But there's so much TV going on. It's kind of hard to put aside time for that.
I'm kind of like you. I've watched a few movies, older movies, and but I've just mainly The Mandalorian is the one show. I know they have some other originals on there, right?
Yeah, my brother's watching C. He says that's pretty good. That's the one.
Is it pretty good?
That's the one with Jason Momoa in it, and I guess everybody's blind except for his 2 kids or something like that, and that's what the whole series.
Oh, really?
Is all around these kids. It's like a future dystopia, and it's like like our future because every once in a while you see something like a plastic bottle or something like that.
Okay.
Survived, but there is some sort of really dystopian future, and everybody's kind of blind and. You wonder how they do a show like that, but he has 2 kids, and then they do a big time jump, I think, too. Also,
All right, I wanted to check that out, so maybe I'll check that out after I watch The Mandalorian. Is that the same thing that just shows an episode once a week?
Something like that, yeah, I think so.
All right,
and I think that's on Apple TV. I think actually.
Oh, Apple TV.
I think so.
Not Disney. You know what? It is Apple TV.
Yeah, For All Mankind, see, and then I guess had that Jennifer Aniston daytime show or some sort of network show.
Yeah, my wife is watching that one.
Yeah, so. But, with the Disney Plus stuff, there's so much more coming out, and it's going to be more directly connected to the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and that's what other people are wondering about this show, whether it's going to be more directly tied to the movies or not, because it is within Disney, and I don't know, we'll see, I guess, how that goes when the movie comes out.
Well, either way, I'm enjoying the Mandalorian, and I can't wait to see what happens next week. I'm sure that him and Baby Yoda will go on their next adventure, and what Western will it be? Because the first one I had the Butch Cassidy Sundance Kid vibe because of this final scene. This one was definitely Magnificent Seven.
Yeah, the other one was John Wick, I guess. You know?
Yeah, so there's all kinds of different Western themes going on. But anyway, thanks for joining. Any thoughts?
No, it's you know. I noticed it was Ron Howard's daughter.
Bryce
directed
Howard.
this episode, and I guess
Bryce
there
Dallas.
rumor, yeah, some rumors that maybe she was having a hard time getting directing gigs, but she's Ron Howard's daughter. But then again, there's a pretty big connection between him and George Lucas because
Right.
Ron Howard was in American Graffiti and stuff like that, and Ron
Right.
Howard directed one of George's other movies. What was that fantasy movie? I forgot what the name of it was, but
Well, he directed a Star Wars too.
yeah.
So with George.
So there's a pretty big family connection there. So maybe this is her way through the back door. Because she's been an actress and stuff like that, but you really haven't seen her given any credit as a director or.
Yeah. Well, maybe she's trying to follow her dad's footsteps because Ron Howard only did Happy Days so he could be a director.
Mm.
That's what I read one time. So maybe she's trying to do this because he'd done he'd been acting since he was a kid.
Oh yeah,
a kid. I mean, it just gets to the point where. But that's where I read one time that he said that the reason he did Happy Days was to continue acting, but also to get himself involved in directing. Maybe she wants to go down the same road.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's kind of ironic that you would think with all the connections they had, she'd be directing even sooner than this, but it just but then it just goes to that whole mentality, you're an actress or you're a woman, you're not going to be able to do this. So
yeah, it could be it.
And I think George has got a lot more influence because he's really good buddies with David Filoni, the guy who's running the series with Favreau. So he's sort of getting in, I guess, through the back door, I guess. Since they sort of threw him out, before and everything.
Well, she did a good job. I thought it was a really good episode.
Yeah.
So
Really good episode. Yeah.
Hats off to her. So I'm assuming she'll get more jobs after this.
Yeah, I think so. Okay.
All right, that's all I got.
Yeah, I think so.
If you like what we're doing, subscribe, tell a friend, and all that fun stuff. We'll see you next week.
Yep, see you next week.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.